everybody. It's Saturday, and I'm on my way to meet up with Tiffany. Of course, to work out. Then we have our study session. I did not upload yesterday, which is Friday, of course. Friday's video, because I'm always uploading on Friday. Only because I'm telling you, I was exhausted. I did upload it, but I didn't get to edit it. So when I'm done editing it, I will be putting it up, and then I'll put up today's video as well, which is Saturday sessions with Tiff, or Saturday study sessions with Tiff. Well, always in the morning time, our voices are always husky, like cornballs on the side as always. So anywho, passed by my old high school before I went to Gates. I went to Marshall. Just gonna put that on there for you guys. That is where I actually met Tiff. Cause I met Tiff my 9th grade year, and I was supposed to chair 9th grade year, but I couldn't because I was also on a competitive gymnastics team. So there was no way I was going to be able to chair and do gymnastics at the same time. No way. And that's crazy. I've been busy all my life. Like, I always have a busy schedule. I don't know why. No matter what, it's always been a busy thing for me. So I'm able to handle the busy life, trust me. But 10th grade year, I ended up not being on the gymnastics team no more, only because my grandmother passed away, and my mom and dad can no longer afford my training, because when my grandmother passed, my mother and the rest of my other family members that were also part of living in the house, my grandmother's house, we all had to keep up with her house and everything. So there was no way he's going to be able to pay almost $1,000 a month due to my gymnastics training, and then taking care of my grandmother's house. Because there's other issues going on too besides just taking care of my mother's house. But 10th grade year, I ended up doing cheerleading with Tiffany, and the rest is history with our friendship. I was also in her wedding. That was like 2 years ago. And we're now in nursing school together, you know, embarking on this same journey together. It's just crazy how God will keep certain people in your life for so long. You know, you just don't see it coming. So I'm just very happy that we got, you know, to do this together, or we are doing this together. And now we're about to go work out together. But today's session is not going to be like flashcards and stuff, because for some reason with fundamentals, it's like there's no other way to prepare for it but just critical thinking and you know, learning steps, like the nursing process steps and all that stuff, because there's no other way I can possibly study for fundamentals right now. I will eventually get, you know, something going, some formula to understand it. Just don't know yet what it is. So when you guys see us studying today and you just see that we all over the place, I told you why. Because there's no other way we can understand fundamentals right now. Because the beginning is like basically like the history of the of how nursing came about, and evidence-based practices. What else is there? The nursing process. It's probably like the only thing I probably know. And I know documentation. So that's like 2 chapters right there that I know. And that's it. And Florence Nightingale, which was like the lady that actually started individualizing care plans and stuff like that. It's probably about, I think that's what she did. But I know she has something to do with the healthcare field. I'm going to read up on it. And this is say I'm in nursing school. And everyone that's in nursing school should already know what Florence Nightingale did for nursing. I know it has something to do with, like, infection control type of stuff. 'Cause I know, like, they used to have, like, dirty syringes back in the day and stuff like that. And she has something to do with, like, that type of part. So I'm going to get together before Monday. I will. You know, my dream is to get in the 90s scoring on this test, but I will be honored to take a 75 because I don't know where to study, what to do. And last night I finally finished my ATI for fundamentals, which was based on infection control and surgical stepis, I think that's how you pronounce it. And that took like almost an hour and some change. But it wasn't bad though. So the only thing I do is just print out the results and turn it in on Friday. Or we would not get a grade. So that's done off my mind. And I already did the pre and post test for Unit 3 or Week 3. Because Week 3, we're going to be starting on the skin. So that's the integrity system. Integrity or whatever system. I got to learn to pronounce these words, Jesus. But I did all that. I did a workbook for it already. Because we got to do workbook assignments as well. And that's all done. I'm telling you, like, these weeks are flying. They weren't lying, though. They weren't lying to us when they said that by the time you know it, you're going to be at graduation. So, I just that's what I want to happen. Just wake up and we're graduating. Wishful thinking, huh? But I'm glad I got to talk to you guys this morning before I go into this workout. Last week's workout wasn't all that. I'm not even going to front. It was not all that. I did some here and there because you got to realize I just got my hair done the last time and I didn't want to sweat my hair out. My next hair appointment is not until the day before my birthday, which is September 7th. So to all my Virgos, hey. And all my September babies. I know some of you Libras are inside of that too as well in that month. But today I'm going to go hard because I got to get this going. Me and Tiff is going to bust down this workout. She's more likely going to be in the steps because she want to get her booty back. Me, I'm more about trying to tone right now because I don't have no trainer right now. I'm just using some of the stuff that she showed me. And, I use with her. Because right now, I cannot, afford a trainer. Because you guys already know I'm not working. And 2, I can't afford a trainer right now. Because I'm in school and going to workout sessions like I used to. Like I used to go every day. And I can't do it. Not right now. I'm not for sure if Tiff is here or not. But I'm about to go into the gym and I'm about to go start working out. She'll call me when she get here, I guess. So I will talk to you guys later. All right. All right, kiddos. I'm at Tiff's house. And like I said, she was going to be on the steps by the time I got there. She was doing the steps workout. And then I happened to see one of my classmates pop up at the same time I did. So that's good that we're using this free membership, while we're in school, keep in shape. Because I know that we be eating sometimes bad. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, I meal prep and everything. But times when I don't do a full meal plan and I'm eating stuff I shouldn't be eating. But I'm about to go inside and start this study session with Tiff real quick. And then I have to meet back with my family because my husband family is having a family reunion in Rochester. And they're all coming from Ohio. So study and then get ready to go back to the house and get ready to go with my husband and boys. Okay. So which statement would the nurse expect to hear from a patient who practiced holism or holism? There is an interconnectedness of living things, of all living things. Herbs cannot improve my health. My primary focus on physical healing. There's only one cause for my disease. I think my primary focus on physical healing. Wouldn't like be a physical thing? We did learn this though, because it's like different medicines beyond, like natural herbs that they want to use besides medicine. They won't use medicine as a cure.
I just don't know the answer.
I think it's interconnectedness of all living things. Okay. I guess that's what they would say. Because it said there's only one cause for my disease. I don't know. Submit. I'll wait and see. Place the steps to become an LPN in the correct order from beginning to end. So, of course, complete educational program. That got to be the first one. Pass the NCLEX. Submit application to the NCLEX people to take. No, you got to do that first.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, apply first. Apply. Then you have to submit.
It just say apply.
It says apply for your license first. Because you have to, then you have to submit.
Apply for your license after everything.
You do?
Yeah. Like after you take your NCLEX, then you.
So pass the NCLEX in?
Yeah.
Then apply for the license?
Right, that's last.
And then submit application. Okay.
Submit application for what?
To the NCLEX to take your license exam.
No, that's first. That's before you vote.
Because I thought you have to apply for it first, then submit, then pass the NCLEX.
Complete. Submit. Yeah, Pat. No, you have to do this one first.
That's why it says submit.
Yeah.
Then do this one, right?
Yep.
And then pass.
No.
What you mean
Apply
no?
for your license is after. You have to, you have to pass it first. I did this question. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. Next one.
And then he let the door on me. It says what?
Mom, you making eggs?
Yep, eggs and sausage.
Wait, Mom. I know how to make eggs now.
Alright.
Me and Hope taught me.
Alright, we'll get out.
Next time to the idea.
No, I got this for now.
Okay. The nurses came for a patient of the Islamic faith. Which action should the nurse take? So treat the patient with dignity. Include bias in care. Focus solely on tasks. Be indifferent to religious aspects of care. So I think it's treat the patient with dignity. You're not supposed to treat them any different than anybody else. So that should be the answer. I don't want to do this question because they kept getting it wrong for everybody.
Which one is that?
Add pie.
Oh.
I'm going to put them in order though. And the steps, guys, is assessment, diagnose, planning, implementation, how do you pronounce that? Implementation and evaluation. Those are the 5 steps of the nursing process. All right, submit that one. The nurse is collecting data from a patient and wants to know which herbal supplements the patient is taking. Which question we best...
Say that again,
The nurse is collecting data from a patient and wants to know which herbal supplements the patient is taking. Which question would be best for the nurse to ask the patient? Do you take herbal supplements? What prescribes and over-the-counter herbs do you take? Are you one of those people who take herbs? And what type of Eastern herbs do you take? But I don't know if it don't say if they are Eastern.
So we don't want to say Eastern.
You don't want to say, are you
You
those
one
type of
of
people?
I want to say, do you take herbal supplements? I don't know though, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
You need to write that.
The nurse manager cites which nursing behavior as demonstrating empathy.
Wait, say it again.
The nurse manager cites which nursing behavior as demonstrating empathy.
Empathy. And empathy is like you can feel it, but you never been through it.
Through it, yep. The nurse who cries when a patient is pronounced dead. The nurse who holds a patient's hand if loneliness is voiced. The nurse who avoids a coworker who is receiving chemotherapy. The nurse who refused to be assigned to the unit where a family member died. Wouldn't it be holding their hand? Could you just listening to them as they're going through a grieving process, or is this something sad?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't want to avoid or refuse. Oh. Evaluate the nurse's notes below. Which finding will cause the nurse legal issues? Basically, this is the one where they left a blank space in the nurse's notes. That's the one, yeah. Which action should the nurse take to be organized? Select all that applies. So track changing patient's information by memory. No. Prioritize nursing care. That's number one, because prioritize. Administering medication on time. That's the one. Report patient fall to the RN. Yes. Provide high-touch nursing care.
Hi, what?
Provide high-touch nursing care.
What the hell is that?
I guess it would be top-notch nursing care.
Johan, I can't hold you. What?
So, like I said, a hospital must abide by the HIPAA. No one in the hospital can give information about the patient or even confirm that the patient is there. Healthcare personnel in general will not have access to information about the patient. Hospitals have armed security personnel who respond immediately to the patient's safety issues. So I'm not for sure if... I don't think the spouse knows she's in a hospital. So the nurse admits a patient to the hospital for injuries related to domestic abuse. The patient fears harm from abusing spouse while the patient's in the hospital. So which precautions shared by the nurse will provide the patient with the greatest sense of safety? I think no one in the hospital can give information about the patient or even confirm she's there.
I would think it would be that.
Because everybody already know about HIPAA, so that shouldn't be even part of it. Because HIPAA, it has to do with...
I feel like HIPAA, everybody knows HIPAA.
Yeah, everybody knows HIPAA. And security is already there. Like, once you tell them, then they should already have, like, a picture or something like that. They can print up if somebody give them, like, a picture. And they already know that, like, watch out for this person. And I think no one in the hospital can give away her information.
With that, too. But you can only pick one, right?
Mm-hmm. And then they said healthcare personnel in general will not have access to information about the patient. But they have to have it because she got to get like, say she got internally bleeding or something like that. They have to know.
That don't really got nothing to do with the situation. Like,
That's true, facts.
like, she don't really damn know about the healthcare.
So I just say no one in the hospital should know her information, like as in give her information to like even a family member because they can be working for him.
Right.
All right. The LPN is assisting the RN in preparing a staff presentation about transcultural nursing. Which information should the LPN contribute to the presentation? So that all that applies. So this is transcultural. So basically, it's like learning another culture, I guess. So focus on one culture. No. Crosses cultural boundaries. You gotta do that. Yeah. Is mandated by governmental agencies. What the freak? I don't know. Include the culture of the individual nurse. I think so. Addresses the cultural differences among patients. That's true too. Because I think that you're teaching this to a different class. Like class of nurses.
Right.
And teaching them like how to respect everyone, different cultures and stuff like that.
Right.
So don't be biased to just your own. Okay. The nurse is preparing a patient. Look how we talking like nurses. So I think we probably got this. Okay. Anywho, the nurse is preparing a patient for transfer to another facility. Which information would the nurse provide on the patient's transfer summary form? So you gotta basically, you have to list their discharge medication because you're giving it to the other facility. The patient's condition and vital sign at discharge. Yes. A description of patient teaching that has been provided.
You gotta only pick one.
Oh. The follow-up appointments to be scheduled. The follow-up appointments to be scheduled. A description of patient teaching that has been provided. Not really with this one because they can teach them something over there. But when you do this though, the patient condition, wouldn't that be falling into the discharge of medication though? And I'm pretty sure the follow schedule already be on there.
A nurse is preparing. That's a tricky one because
It's definitely not these two.
it's definitely not those two. It's always two right answers and always two wrong answers. And you gotta pick the better of the right answer. That's always how
Like what's the main? All the thing by prioritizing. So I think it has to be the vital signs and conditioning of the patient because they gotta know the history and all this stuff too.
Right.
And what would and stuff that's prior to them like vital, like if they have low blood pressure, why their blood pressure so high now?
Right.
And stuff like that. So, because discharge of medication, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the information of the patient anyways when they get their discharge papers. Because they normally take papers with them if they're going back to like their facility. So I would say like the condition and their vital signs. Because that's like more.
That's most important.
Yeah.
Like that's their condition and their vital signs is more important than what medications they're taking right now. Like what condition physiologically, what's going on with them
Before, yeah, because you want
before
to,
anything
yeah,
else.
yes.
That's
Because the
why-
medication, their medication will always change though too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Medication is like constant change, so maybe
Their condition and everything,
like,
yeah.
How are you really doing? Like, are they like just have?
'Cause
a
physically,
heart attack?
yeah, 'cause-
what's going on with them?
Yeah, because we observing, like we the objective, so we can always see what's going on with them. Because they can always say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, blah, blah. But like you said, physically, you can see or observing that they're not doing good. Okay.
I would say that.
The nurse obtains the following vital signs. Radial pulse, 87. Apical pulse, that's underneath the boob, the breast, whatever, that's 93. Blood pressure, 134/86, is actually a good one. What is the pulse pressure? So this would be the pulse pressure. So it would be, ooh, this is a good one.
How are we supposed to know that?
I would say 86.
Is the formula?
No, they say the radical pulse is 87, apical pulse is 93, and that one is under, like I said, the breast, like where the heartbeat is.
Yeah.
Blood pressure 134/86. What is the pulse pressure? Oh, girl, diastolic and
I don't know that stuff.
oh,
You know that stuff.
well, I know that stuff. So it's 86. Okay, let's see what the freak we got in this test. Dang, I gotta type in all this information. Hold on, guys. I gotta type in some info. All that questioning and erased everything.
What happened? Kicked you off?
They said re-sign back in. I did all that and lost everything.
They just kicked you off.
All right, well, let's try this again. Without that one question or just that one topic. All right. Start again. Oh, this is the ad pie thing again. Okay. Which is an appropriate action for the nurse to take when computered charting? Review patient chart that was transferred to another floor for care. Allow another nurse to use the password to chart a late entry. No. Log off immediately after charting patient info. Yes. Copy and paste notes because there has been no change in status. No. So I think log off immediately after charting patient's information.
Right, because you can't look at a patient and know that been transferred.
Yeah, because they are on another floor. Yeah.
So it's not the patient anymore.
The nurse is completing the admission process for a patient. When the nurse begins the personal property inventory, the patient states, I have a large amount of cash in my jacket. Which action will the nurse take? Ask the patient the amount of money and record the amount. Yes. Count the money with another nurse and document the amount. Send the cash home with the family member who is present. That's actually a good one. Inquire about the reason the patient has so much cash on their... Wait, what? On their person. Okay, you don't have to ask them why. That's not your business. You do want to ask a patient the amount of cash and record the amount. But if there's a family member present, when you want to send it with the family, but then again, how can you trust that family member with the money?
Yeah.
And then counting the money with another nurse. It's not like we doing drug trades over here. Like, why I'm counting your staff. So I'll just ask the patient how much money you got and record the amount. Because I see a lot of nurses when I do my patient care tech and I'm in a room with them after they come back from their surgery. They ask them about what kind of personal stuff do you have on you,
Right.
and do you want them to take it home with them? Because sometimes security have their items too.
Right.
You have to call down to security. So I'll just say ask the patient the amount.
Right. And document it.
Yeah. Because whatever happens after that, that's what I said, once you sign your name and it's in the computer and you put a little dot, and your name is off your hand. A patient was recently diagnosed with HIV. The patient's spouse asked the nurse about the patient's diagnosis. Which action must the nurse take? You can't tell the spouse regardless because, okay, let me go into the questions. Let me get into details. Don't go further into the question. Like they always tell us. Inform the spouse that they are at risk because the patient has a serious condition. Tell the spouse that medical information cannot be shared without the patient's permission. Ask the spouse what they think the patient diagnosis might be. Explain to the patient why the diagnosis should be shared with the spouse. No. So tell the spouse that medical information cannot be shared without the patient's permission, which is respect. Because how do you know that's their spouse? That's what they were teaching us in class.
If it is their spouse.
Or not. Some stuff you don't want to let your spouse know. Simple as that.
We can't tell you. We cannot tell you nothing.
Okay, so we got 2 out of 5 right.
That's it?
I'm serious. So the one we did get right was the diagnosis with the HIV. We got that one right. What we got wrong? The nurse is completing the admission process for a patient. When the nurse begins the personal property inventory, the patient states, "I have a large amount in cash in my jacket. Which action will the nurse take?" And to my YouTube subscribers, remember when I said, why would we count their money like we check in their stat? That was actually the right question.
What was it?
Counting the money with another nurse. They said the nurse would ask another nurse to verify the amount of cash in the presence of the patient. The nurse would document the amount and the names of the persons verifying their amount. That is true. Because say that's what I'm saying. But that's what I was trying to tell the teachers in class. You do have to go further into the question because you got to think of other aspects of what can possibly go wrong. If you count with the patient, they might say, "Oh yeah, the nurse was calm." But if you documenting it, wouldn't you already state that as your backup?
We must have supposed to read that somewhere.
Let me see. Course topic would be admission, transfers, and discharge. Concepts, nursing roles, cognitive level, application, client needs safe and efficient care environment. So they said the nurse would need to verify the amount of cash, then the amount would be recorded. Okay, that's his rationales.
I feel like that would be like
Yep.
documentation too, though.
That's what I thought, documentation, because you actually admitting them. And when you admit them, you want to do the personal item stuff. You got to do inventory. So basically, you just need a backup person just to be in the presence with both of them. So it should be 3 people. Then you, the nurse, and the patient. And then, like they said, to back up. So then, how comfortable would a nurse be, though, counting with you and trusting you to use them as a backup? Everybody's not trustworthy neither. And that's why I got that. That's why I got that test back saying I need to be more trustworthy of people. My paper told me that. Remember that communication paper we got turned in on Monday? You got to print it out, Tiff, and you got to circle 1 through 5. And then,
I know what you're talking about.
so they said I have to be more trustworthy of people. Okay. Anywho, next question. What we got wrong?
I did that already.
What did you get?
I got very high.
90.
So me and you still in the same range, 96?
I can't remember.
Okay. So we got their herbal supplement 1 wrong. So the right answer was, what prescribed over-the-counter herbs do you take? That is a good question to ask them, though.
What did we pick?
Do you take herbal supplements? This is like busting out. Do you take herbs? Okay. This is a yes or no question.
What's the right answer?
What prescribed and over-the-counter herbs do you take? So it is reasonable because then you can always get other alternatives of what to take when you go to the pharmacy or whatever. Stuff you can buy over the counter. Okay. So option 1, this is a yes or no question. It does not obtain the information a nurse needs. So that's why number 1 was not right. Number 2 was right because when obtaining information from a patient's history, Be sure to ask about alternative and complementary therapies. Do so in a non-judgmental way so that the patient will be comfortable devolving the information. That makes sense. They keep saying the ad pie is wrong. I'm going to skip that one. So we actually got 3 out of 5 right because the ad pie keep coming out wrong. Okay, so you want to make a longer question?
Yeah, we need more practice.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. And I found the quiz that we did earlier. All right. So it says, which action should the nurse take to be organized? We got everything right except for report patient falls to the RN. I thought you were supposed to report to the RN as well.
We shouldn't have did that?
They said it was wrong. We got everything right, like, prioritizing nursing care and administering medication on time. But they said that we got it wrong to be organized to tell the RN where. So the reason why, this is being honest, not organized.
Okay.
I thought by telling the nurse that someone fell, I thought it'd be organized because if you don't report it and they broke, so skip that one. Okay, the nurse obtains the vital signs. See, we can't really do this one neither because we gotta do the vital signs. And we didn't learn that yet. God bless you. All the rest of them had to do vital signs, and we didn't learn that. And technically, we got 14 out of 20 right because the ad pie keep coming up wrong. So we're all good. So I'm gonna read out the ATI book. The content mastery series, Fundamentals for Nursing. Okay. So, I love these books though. I love them. This one, Tiff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. A nurse is discussing restorative care, healthcare with a newly licensed nurse. Which of the following examples should a nurse include in the teaching? Select all that applies. Home health care, rehab facilities, diagnostic centers, skilled nursing facilities, oncology centers.
Wait, what care is it?
Restorative care, healthcare.
Oh, okay, so that's like rehab, skilled nursing facilities.
Yeah, so home health and
care.
skilled nursing. Because diagnostic and oncology centers, no.
You want some eggs?
They white eggs?
No.
Okay, number 2. But make sure it's right. Hold up. Let's start going to the next question. So A, B, and D. Let me see if those are right. Oh, C. They got C as one of them. Oh, no. We right. A, B, and D. They were right. Do you want to know why they were right or no?
Which one was that? Your question?
The one about the restorative healthcare.
Oh, no, okay, I know that.
Okay, we got that right. Okay.
I know restorative. Do you know what primary is?
Primary is the hospital, right?
That's like your regular visits to your doctor, like your care child.
Oh, it's like your primary care provider, PCP.
Right, like your PCP going for like.
Or ACA, right? Is it ACA?
It's right in their book. Look in the page before it. Know these different ones.
Oh, so levels of healthcare. Okay.
Yes, preventative is like the smoking sensation, like people like smoking.
So just educating people.
Right.
Okay.
Preventative, basically, like before it happens.
Before it happens, yep.
Your primary is like the primary care, your well health care checkup, your prenatal care, like all of that primary care.
Secondary diagnosis. That's where which one come into the diagnostic centers.
Right, diagnosis and all that stuff. Tertiary is like the oncology. Is that it?
Yep, that's what it is. Yep, E.
And what else?
Burn centers and the intensive care. So basically, when you got like a 3rd-degree burn and all that stuff.
Right.
Okay. Restorative care, like you said, like the healthcare facilities, and continuing healthcare is like chronic, hospice, in-home, assisted living, adult daycare. Let's see. A nurse is explaining the various types of healthcare coverage. Clients might have to group of nursing students. I don't think they word this right, but a nurse is explaining the various types of healthcare coverage clients might have, to a group of nursing students. Which of the following healthcare financing mechanisms are federally funded?
I did those questions yesterday. I'll be right back.
Okay. A client who has had a cerebral vascular accident
That's like a heart attack.
has persistent problems with swallowing, dysphagia.
That's like the medical diagnosis for not being able to swallow.
The nurse caring for the client should initiate a referral with which of the following members of the interprofessional care team? So it should be speech language, because they help with swallowing evaluations. So let me see if it's D. And we're correct. 5. A nurse is let me see. Acronym, I can't even pronounce this word. A group of newly LPNs with the role of the various members of the healthcare team they will encounter on a medical surgical unit, med-surg. When she gives examples of the types of tasks CNAs may perform, which of the following client activities should she include? Bathing, emulating, toileting, measuring vital signs, determining pain level. I think it's A, of course, B, of course, C, and measuring vital signs. Because determining pain level.
What a CNA can do?
Yeah.
So they can't determine pain level.
No, they definitely can determine pain level. So I think it's A, bathing, B, emulating, C, toileting, and E, measuring vital signs. And we're all correct. All right, chapter 3, ethical responsibilities. A nurse is caring for a client who decides not to have surgery despite significant blockage in his coronary arteries. The nurse understands that this client's choice is an example of which of the following ethical principles.
I did that.
Wouldn't it be immunity?
That's like
It's kind of like they advocate for,
Wishes, right?
yeah,
The anonymity one.
yeah.
Respecting the patient's wishes.
So I think it's B.
Even if you don't agree with them.
Because non-male, maleficence, whatever, justice and fidelity has something to do with it. And we're right. Oh, not to get off of the study subject, but PAR's coming on tomorrow, right? I was making sure. Question 2. A nurse offers pain medication to a client who is post-operative prior to ambulation. The nurse understands that the aspects of care delivery is an example of which of the following ethical principles.
I had that wrong.
I think this one, it has to do with
They all on that page.
would it be D? Benefits were beneficial to them.
What is the definition of the beneficence, whatever the hell it is?
Actions that promote good for others without any self-interest. It might be this one again. Autonomony.
I got that one wrong. Drive, get over here and eat your food.
So that it. Let me see.
Drive, get down here and eat your food. I didn't do anything.
Oh, we got it right. It's D. Yes. A nursing is instructing a group of nursing students about the responsibilities, organ donation, donation, and procurement involved. When the nurse explains that all clients waiting for a kidney transplant has to meet the same qualifications, the students should understand that this aspect of care delivery is an example of which of the following ethical principles. True. A nurse questions a medication prescription as too extreme in light of the client's advanced age and unstable status. The nurse understands that this action is an example of which of the following ethical principles. Would it be fidelity?
What is that?
A nurse questioned a medication prescription as too extreme in the light of the client's advanced age and unstable status.
So fidelity was like fulfillment of promises. What's the other answer?
Oh yeah, that won't be right. Yeah, it has to be B then, because justice is basically just being fair, but this person is unstable and has an advanced age.
Right.
And non-maleficence, it might be that though, because you might not get no male. You might not go to court because this person is unstable and is advanced age.
What is non?
Let me see what that definition is before I even try to guess it.
I forgot.
Get me guessing wrong.
I got a question. I gotta look at those.
A commitment to do no harm.
I think that's the one then.
So that was non-male
A commitment
line
to no harm.
Yeah. You're not going to hurt them. Because they unstable, but they advanced age. But you just let them know, like, the dangers of it. Because you're educating and letting them know.
What's the answer?
You said D, right? We got it right. Non-male, whatever, is a commitment to do no harm. In this situation, administering the medication can harm the client. By questioning it, the nurse is demonstrating the ethical principle. Okay. A nurse is instructing a group of nursing students about how to know and what to expect when ethical dilemmas arise. Which of the following situations should the student identify as an ethical dilemma? A nurse on a med-surg unit demonstrates signs of chemical impairment. No. A nurse overhears another nurse telling an older adult client that if he doesn't stay in bed, she will have to apply restraints. No. A family has conflicting feelings about the intentions of internal tube feeding for their father who is terminally ill. A client who is terminally ill hesitates to name her spouse on her durable power of attorney form.
So this is ethical.
So wouldn't it be C?
Yep, I think I got it wrong, but it will be C.
I think this is internus, Niitiation.
Intravenous. So that means like in the vein, right?
Let me see. C. Oh, we got it right. Making a decision about initiating. Thank you. Why I feel like I'm just like illiterate today. Whatever. Enteral tube feeding, an example of an ethical dilemma. A review of scientific data cannot resolve the issue, and it is not easy to resolve. The decision will have a profound effect on the situation and on the client. Legal responsibilities. The next one. A nurse exerts an assistant personnel reprimanding a client for not using the urinal properly. The AP tells him she will not put a diaper on him if he does not use the urinal more carefully next time. Which of the following torts is the AP commenting? Assault, battery, false imprisonment, invasion of privacy. Assault.
Right.
Definitely assault. She's not beating him. A nurse is caring for a competent adult client who tells the nurse that he is thinking about leaving the hospital against medical advice. The nurse believes that this is not in the client's best interest, so she prepares to administer a PRN, which as needed. Sedated medication the client has not requested along with his usual medication. Which of the following types of tort is the nurse about to commit? I think that's false imprisonment, right? Mm-hmm. She's gonna try to get him a PRN. He even asked for it yet. Correct. A nurse is in a surgeon's office, is providing pre-operative teaching for a client who is scheduled for surgery the following week. The client tells the nurse that he will prepare his advance directives before he goes to the hospital. Which of the following statements made by the client should indicate to the nurse an understanding of advance directives? A. I'd rather have my brother make decisions for me, but I know it has to be my wife. Wait, what? I'd rather have my brother make decisions for me, but I know it has to be my wife. I know they won't go ahead with the surgery unless I prepare these forms. I plan to write that I don't want them to keep me on a breathing machine. I will get my regular doctor to approve my plan before I hand it in at the hospital.
So advance directive orders are like stuff that you write down in case
something happened.
When something happens. So which of those statements would make you believe, okay, this patient understands what advance directive orders are?
I want to say I'd rather have my brother make decisions, but then he don't know he wants his wife to do it. Because he feel like, because it's his spouse, it has to be his wife. But does it have to be?
True.
That's not true. That's what I said.
So he don't understand. He's out.
Yeah. He's out of it.
He don't understand, so that can't be right.
I know they won't go ahead with the surgery unless I prepare these forms.
So that wouldn't be right either.
No.
Because
It's like,
do the surgery.
regardless.
Right. Your advance is just saying, this is what I want just in case I am I don't wake up from the surgery type thing.
I would say C. I want to write that I don't want them to keep me in a breathing machine.
So he understands the rest.
So it has to be C, because going to your regular doctor to talk about this got nothing to do. That's like a follow-up.
Right.
After the surgery.
Your regular doctor don't have to look at your advance directive.
That's true too.
That's just what you want in case
something happens. Like, I don't want to be in a breathing thing.
Right.
Oh, okay, we got it. It's C.
Right.
Okay. A nurse is caring for a client who's about to undergo an elective surgical procedure. The nurse should take which of the following actions regarding informed consent? Select all that apply. Make sure the surgeon obtained the client's consent. Witness the client's signature on the consent form. That's one of them, because you have to be a witness to it. Explain the risks and benefits of the procedure. Wouldn't the surgeon tell them that, though?
Yeah, that is not our job.
Okay. Describe the consequences of choosing not to have the surgery. That's not our job. Not in my scope of practice. Tell the client about alternatives to having the surgeries.
That is not my job.
Even though I say all that apply,
So it's 2 of them, right?
so it should be B.
What? We could be a witness. What was A?
Make sure the surgeon obtained the client's consent.
Oh, yeah.
So A and B.
Yeah, because they have to do that.
Okay, about to say, 'cause the other ones got nothing to do with us. That's out of our scope of practice. So make sure that you don't do nothing that's not in your scope of practice. Okay. A nurse have noticed several occasions in the past week when another nurse on a unit seemed drowsy and unable to focus on the issue at hand. Today she found the nurse asleep in a chair in the break room when she was not on break. Which of the following actions should the nurse take? Report the observations to the nurse manager in the unit. Leave the nurse alone asleep. Fill out an incident report. Alert the American Nurses Association. So you're going to report them.
I would tell the manager, right?
Yeah, report them. So see. It's common sense in that one. Because what does the American Nurses Association have to do with that? There's no incident going on, because you just said she just seemed drowsy and unfocused. But an incident can happen if she, if you're talking to the nurse and leave the...
Yeah, but we can wait till it happens, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. And then leave the nurse alone to sleep. Okay. Some of the stuff is so funny to me. I'm sorry. Okay, this got to do with documentation. This is information technology. All right. A nurse is preparing information for change of shift report. Which of the following information should the nurse include in the report? Input and output for shift, blood pressure from the previous day, bone scan scheduled for today, medication routine from the medication administration record.
Wait, let me hear that again.
A nurse is preparing information for change of shift report. Which of the following information should the nurse include in a report?
Yo, we didn't ever figure out what that question was about. What's more important when they discharge him? Was it the medications or was it the patient's condition?
Oh, patient condition. We got it right.
Oh, we did?
That was vital signs, though. So, like you said, we learned that in vital signs. Or no, admissions, transfers, and discharge. Yeah.
So what's the question again?
A nurse is preparing information for change of shift report. Which of the following information should the nurse include in a report?
Okay.
So medication routine from the medication administration record, no. Bone scan scheduled for today, yeah. I think we should tell them that they have something important like that.
Yeah, for today, okay.
A blood pressure from the previous day, no. Input and output for the shift.
Input, output, the shift.
But then that'd be like if they had like a UTI maybe and they urinated. I think it's like if they had a bone scan for today, so they could let the other team know, like the CNA.
Right, you're gonna only pick one.
Yeah. And one, either A or C, the input or output for the shift, or C, bone scan scheduled for today. Because why would you need the medication administration record? And then the previous blood pressure from the other day, no. Let me see. C.
Scans for the day?
You want me to read why?
Yeah.
Okay. The bone scan is important because the nurse might have to modify the client's care to accommodate leaving the unit. Got it right. Hey. A nurse is discussing the HIPAA rule privacy rule with nurses during new employee orientation. Which of the following information should the nurse include? Select all that apply. A single electronic record password is provided for the nurses on the same unit. Family members should provide a code prior to receiving client health information. I think they're able to do that. They have like a secret password. Like if they on the phone and like this is our password, or they say a certain thing. I think they're able to. I read it in the HIPAA thing. Well, like in the documentations, it could be like a secret line they will say. Really? Communication of client information can occur at the nursing station. A client can request a copy of her medical records. That's only to get the doctor involved though, because they have to get permission though too. Like they have the right to their record, right? But you have to also get the provider involved too as well. Because you never know, they might get the information and then give it to the family member. They ain't supposed to be getting it. A nurse may photocopy a client's medical record for transfer to another facility. No, they can't photocopy that. It's like taking a picture from your phone. So I said maybe.
What's the question again?
The nurse is discussing the HIPAA privacy rule with nurses during new orientation. Right. New employee orientation. Which of the following information should the nurse include? Select all that apply.
Yeah, okay.
A single electronic record password. Can we get our own password?
Yeah, that would not be.
No, heck no. So I think it's B. Family members should provide a code prior to receiving client health info. And D, a client can request a copy of her medical records. But then they might tell her she can go into like e-records or something like that.
Same thing. Request.
True.
Let's see.
So maybe B and D.
I didn't do these yet.
2. B, C, and D. And E.
Wait, what?
What the freak?
What question is that? 2.
The HIPAA rule states that communication about a client should only take place in a private setting when unauthorized individuals cannot overhear it.
Wait a minute. What? Read the question again. I'm so confused.
A nurse is discussing the HIPAA privacy rule with nurses during new employee orientation. Which of the following information should the nurse include? So you are able to talk privately away. So you're able to communicate at the front desk.
Family members should provide a code prior to.
I know that one was right because we talked about that. Like some family members should know the code. Only like maybe one person or two.
Let me see what's this one.
Mm-hmm.
Communication of client information can occur at the nurse's station. Oh no, that's not right?
That's right.
That is right?
B to E is right. A is the only one. That's not right.
Wow.
I just never knew that we could be at the nursing station talking about it. Unless it's like our nursing station like in the back or like in a cut somewhere.
That is crazy.
I'm surprised it's correct. It's C too as well. And then the one with photocopy, they being by on the to fax it over to like the place. Or photocopy to put
That's
in.
good.
Right?
Wait, hold on. Before you go on, I need to go get my book and stuff out.
All right. States a nurse may only photocopy a client's medical record if it is to be used for transfer to another facility or provider. So if it's going with them, okay. I guess so. I know you can't fax it over. Break. I'm taking a break. What time is it? 11:32. So we're gonna study probably for like 28 more minutes, and then we'll leave at 12 as I get ready to go with my husband. But I hope you guys are enjoying this so far with these NCLEX questions and fundamental questions. Just pass this test on Monday. She's gonna get her books too as well, so she can study with me. Just pray for us. Please pray for us. Oh, and my husband got me a new book bag because I needed one with more space. So I'll do like what's in my bag with you guys like on another video. Get my vanilla lace. I think they said it's back in the store, according to them.
So
What is that?
This was just like the breakdown of the whole.
Can I please see that,
chapter.
please?
I'm about to show it to you right now. So like unit 1, management of care, the characteristics. These were the characteristics. The 8 highs right here.
Who gave that to you?
This girl made it for me. Empathy, sympathy just tells you the difference. Tells you all of the regulatory agencies. The publicly federally funded, the private, the levels of care. The preventative, primary, secondary, tertiary. You see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at needs and all this stuff.
But where'd you get all the information from, though?
Just from the book. Like, she made her own, like, little PowerPoint. It's really just to read. So it's not really, like, a good study for me because I can just read and get that information. And, like, I need questions. Like,
So she basically just broke down, like, the questions?
She just basically broke down, like, the chapters. I don't really know where to go with this fundamental stuff because I gotta get a
I
test
told you,
of it.
I need, like, a summary of each chapter. Like I said, the only thing that's probably really helping me out is, like, the ATI book.
Right.
And, that's about it.
We need, like, and then once we know, like, once we take one test, then we can kind of, like, get an idea or feel like, okay, this is how this is how it's gonna be. Because I'm just, like, all over the place with this.
I mean, I already know Maslow's hierarchy thing. That's not bad to know. This is a good layout, to be honest with you, but
It's still a lot, though.
mhm.
Still a lot.
It's like, yo, just the whole chapter 5, like 1 through 5.
That's what we being tested on, right?
Yeah, but she don't got Wishcom on here though.
Yeah, that's only, like, the first part of it.
What is the first chapter?
That's
I don't know, cause we got it, cause she don't got documentation on here.
Yeah, like, it's not all of it.
But that's a good layout though. I'm proud of her. But let me finish the rest of the questions. All right. A nurse is discussing occurrences that require completion of an incident report with a newly licensed nurse. Which of the following should the nurse include in the teaching? Select all that apply. Medication error, needle sticks.
It's incident reports?
Yeah,
Okay,
like completing one.
right.
Conflict with provider and nursing staff. Omission of prescription. Specimen collection of a prescribed laboratory test.
That's a hard one. What's incidents?
Wouldn't it be a med error? That's an incident report, right?
I would think.
I don't know about no needle stick. It's not really giving me details on that. Omission of prescriptions? Wouldn't that be like refusing?
Omission. I would say that's more like, I don't think that would be like incident. That's not like an incident.
No.
I
Maybe
don't
a
know.
missed specimen collection of a prescribed laboratory test?
I would think because it's like something that happened.
And you definitely got to make sure that you take stuff down to the lab just in case you got prescribed them certain things or they got like a blood level that's not right or something like that. Let me see. I think it's A, C, and E. I don't know. What number is this for? A, B, and D. So a med error. That's a given. Oh, the needle stick was one of them. The nurse should complete an incident report regarding the needle stick. Okay.
Yeah, I knew that.
And D, omission of prescription.
Oh.
The nurse should complete an incident report. But what's omission?
Omission means like you.
Wasn't that like somebody refusing a medicine or something?
No, omission means like you knew something and you didn't tell.
The nurse.
Like, I thought that's what omission meant.
I want to look that word up too.
Omission, like
You know me, I'm always looking for words.
you didn't tell, you didn't say something when you knew the truth, kind of thing.
Let me see. Let me see. What the? Omission of medication or prescription. Okay. Okay. Is the first detective tool for potentially inappropriate medicines and potentially prescribing omission in pediatrics.
What?
So it's basically falling on a med error. What's the omission alone? What's that word alone by itself? A person or thing that has been left out or excluded. A failure to do something, especially something that one has a moral legal obligation to do.
Right.
So they refuse to give medication. So proud of myself, Tiff. I'm sorry. So they refuse to get prescription though. But why would it make an incident report? Is that like somebody refused to take their medicine from them? Or that they forgot to tell them that the patient refused to get the medicine, refused to take the medicine, and you forgot to like report it? And you still signed off for it?
Because omission like means left out, so I don't know what the hell.
We'll get there one day. A nurse is receiving a provider's prescription by telephone for morphine for a client who is reporting moderate to severe pain. Which of the following nursing actions are appropriate? Select all that apply. Repeat the detail of the prescription back to the provider. Have another nurse listen to the telephone prescription. Obtain the provider's signature on the prescription within 24 hours. Decline the verbal prescription because it is not an emergency situation. Morphine is extra emergency to some people. Tell the charge nurse that the provider has prescribed morphine by telephone. So all that applies. So what should we do when it comes to a telephone, like medicine or the telephone?
I have no damn clue. You learn that? What the hell chapter is that?
This is chapter self-efficient care environment.
Did we learn?
Section management of care. This is when documentations come into place.
question?
Maybe A. You gotta repeat it back. It says, a nurse is receiving a provider's prescription by telephone for morphine for a client who's reporting moderate to severe pain. So which of the following nursing actions are appropriate?
Okay.
So you want to repeat the details of the prescription back to the provider
Yeah.
to make sure that is right.
Right.
Have another nurse listen to the telephone prescription. But why would you need them to listen though?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, obtain the provider's signature on the prescription within 24 hours.
I think that's necessary.
Yes, so C. Decline the verbal prescription because it is not an emergency situation.
No, we cannot decline.
You can't decline it because
We not.
the doctors,
Right.
that's their their scope of practice, probably RN. Because I think LPNs are able to take prescription orders too, right? Like in a nursing home setting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell the charge nurse that the provider has prescribed morphine by telephone. You want to let the charge nurse know though.
Yeah, I would think so.
So maybe A, C, and E. Is A, B, and C.
What?
Why E not? What? I'm not liking this. Okay. The A one. The nurse should repeat the medication's name, dosage, time or intervals, route, and any other permanent information back to the provider and receive and document confirmation.
We know that.
Having another nurse listen to a telephone prescription is a safety precaution that helps prevent medication errors due to miscommunication.
Okay, so we gotta have another nurse check the voicemail with us.
And C, the provider must sign the prescription within the time frame the facility specifies in its policies,
So we
generally
don't have to
24 hours.
tell the charge nurse.
So there's no need to inform the charge nurse every time a nurse receives a medication prescription, whether by telephone, verbally, or in a medical record. Oh, wow. Delegation and supervision. We did learn about delegation. Because she kept saying
What can you delegate? You know the 5 rights to delegation, right?
task, circumstances,
It's SMART, right?
smart, yep.
So specific. What is it? I forgot. SMART.
Is specific,
What's-
measurable, obtainable, realistic, and time frame.
Okay, so that's the SMART.
That's
goal.
SMART
That's
goals.
like the outcomes
Mhm.
and stuff.
Delegation is
The right
task, the right
person.
circumstances,
I got it.
person,
You looking at it?
yeah, directions and communication, and supervision and evaluation.
Wait a minute, no, the 5 rights to delegation.
Yeah. That's the 5 rights.
What is it again?
Right task, right circumstance, right person, right direction and communication, right supervision and evaluation. But I want to know they want us to know each of those tasks, like each of the delegation, they want us to like have like a little info about what each of them mean.
Okay, right task, right person, right direction, communication, right supervision.
So right task, delegate an AP to assist a client who has ammonia to use a bedpan.
Elijah, come here.
So basically the right task is identify which tasks are appropriate to delegate for each specific client. A right task is repetitive, require little supervision, is relatively non-invasive for the client. So like assigning a CNA to like what they supposed to do that day.
Did you clean your room?
I was gonna do it.
Choose the right task. They can perform that task. It's the right circumstance, meaning they're not too busy doing anything else. The right person, meaning like you're not telling
The wrong, like a CNA to go give like a
right, like
shot or
something
give a
not
medication.
doing.
Yeah.
The right direction, communication, like what does that mean?
Like medical, like talking to them in terms that they understand.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, or direction, I guess, yeah, like just
And just giving directorial terms, as in, go place the patient on their left side of the bed, not left side of the bed, but roll into their left side to get them out their bottom and stuff like that.
Right, I
guess communicate. Let me see. Communicate what data to collect. So basically, like if you want to get them like output on the urine.
Okay, yeah.
Provide a method and timeline for reporting, including when to report concerns and assessments findings.
Okay,
so like I told, like say for instance, you told them like I need it within an hour, and they didn't get it within an hour. So like a time frame you're talking about, and they didn't tell you, and you kind of go back and communicate with them, like why they didn't go get it or something like that.
I don't know.
Dang. Let me see.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 26 in the ATI book, the fundamental one.
26. So like, what is that? The right direction we were looking at?
Right direction and communication in writing, orally, or both. Provide a method and timeline for reporting, including when to report concerns and assessment findings. Communicate specific tasks to perform and client-specific instructions. Detailed expected results, timeline, and expectations for follow-up communication.
So I would say that would be like, okay, hey, I need you to go in and do this for a patient, and let me know if this changes, and let me know if this happens or something like that. Like
report back to you, but
so much time. Like, hey.
So basically, like we said before, I need urine count by so and so within an hour.
And if she doesn't,
do we go back and ask like what happened?
No.
No,
like,
you're not communicating with them.
No, not like that. They're saying like, make sure you tell them like, hey, I need a urine count in about an hour, and if she doesn't produce any urine in about an hour,
let me know. Okay.
So let me know. You know what I mean? So we can reassess the findings. And basically, that's what it means.
That's
like, give a time frame.
Let
them know what you're looking for, and let them know like any concerns and assessment findings.
Okay. So the supervision and evaluation. So because if you're gonna work in like a long-term care facility, you're gonna be like over the CNA, and you have to give them like tasks and stuff. So the supervision and evaluation, I think you can't leave them or something like that. And you have to make sure that they're doing their job to what they're supposed to be doing. Like you're supposed to tell them, like, make sure the rooms is tidy up and stuff like that. Make sure that you got the last of the outputs before the shift ends. Make sure they come back at a lunch break on time.
Right.
Make sure that if they got any far risk patients, that they actually watching them. If an aide is off the floor, stuff like that, you know.
Right.
So delegate an AP to assist with emulating a client after the hour and complete submission assessment. So right supervision and evaluation. Provide supervision either directly or indirectly, assisting supervision to another licensed nurse. Monitor performance. Intervene if necessary for unsafe clinical practice. Provide feedback. Did the delegatee complete the task on time? Was the delegatee performance satisfactory? Did the delegatee document and report unexpected findings? Did the delegatee need help completing the task on time? So we're basically talking about CNA. Like when we talk to them,
right,
and make sure that things are done before the shift is over. Is that what you're trying to say? And also
provide supervision, yeah, either directly or indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. to another licensed nurse, monitor performance. Yeah, intervene if necessary.
Mm-hmm. So when you just wear your real hair?
Because I can't take care of it. I can't deal with it.
You know how long it took me a while just to let go of my weave? But then when I just got cut, I was like, dang, this is a mistake. I rather have unhealthy hair in my tracks.
Shut the hell up.
Because how you go from hair to hair? That's some bad damage.
Your hair?
My hair is damaged, Tiff. I'm not even, yeah.
It was that long, huh?
Yeah, because like I had heat damage. Because I kept getting my, when you have micro links, you have your real hair out too.
Yeah. Why don't you just grow your own hair then? Why you want to get sew-ins instead of doing micro links?
Sew-ins and micro links are like the same thing. Only thing with links is that your real hair is out. I don't like sew-ins. Because once that guy doggone hair right here gets happy and you'll go for your appointments for a while, that's another reason why I don't got my links in.
That's why
Because I already know if I get my links in, I'm going to tell Hazel I need my hair done every 3 weeks, and that's bad. Even though what Mo is doing is like way better though. It's growing back quick.
don't grow back quick.
It'll
grow back quicker even if you braid it.
I mean, when January get here, I'm getting braided. Who goes to the hair shop every 2 weeks in the snow?
My hair's so damaged.
I wish I would. Anywho, a nurse in a med-surg unit has received change of shift report and will care for 4 clients. Which of the following clients' needs should the nurse assign?
Yeah? You call me? What you about to do with him?